Super duty tough work.
We are here
In this motherfucking joint.
in the place to be.
The illustrious Super Duty Studios.
Hey, that's what it is.
Live from Columbus, Ohio.
That is what it is. Super Duty Studios.
Yeah, man. And, it's a nice little January day.
Yeah, it's not too cold. It was freezing this morning, but
Yeah, it's been beastie this morning.
it's not. It's pretty nice outside now.
Yeah. So, we just here getting work done, man. You dress pretty nice, man.
Hey, man, I got to go shopping for my birthday as well.
Oh, so this is all new joints?
Well, the shirt is. The shirt
Okay.
and the jeans are.
So you came in hot, like.
But check it. I went to the thrift store, right?
Okay.
50% off.
Oh yeah. They was getting busy the last few weeks.
Cleaned up.
Word.
I got maybe 8 shirts, a couple pairs of pants
Nice.
for $40.
That's what's up. yeah, 8 shirts and pants.
And
It's like
pants.
12 items.
Yeah, 12 items, and they all had tags on them.
Yeah.
Basically brand new stuff.
Nice.
Dog, cleaned up. Couple sweaters.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
So this is what I should be expecting for the next couple
for
weeks.
the next couple weeks, you know what I'm saying? I'll be splashing,
coming through every day like with something new on.
dipped, you know what I'm saying?
Hot new
dripping.
Right.
That's as the kids say. I got my drip right.
I know you're dripping. It's crazy right now. So yeah, we here, man. We here doing the thing. Last week's episode got a lot of good feedback. Jealousy joint.
Yes.
Our candid admissions and stories, I think resonated with the people.
Definitely. Also, the cover.
Yeah.
Super fresh.
Hey, man.
Super fresh.
You're welcome, brother.
Yeah, you did that one right.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, ooh. He went there.
Hey, some people, I was like, whoever gets this reference is going to love this one.
Yeah,
You
and
know what I
my
mean?
brother's keeper.
Yeah, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's one of the things I posted about a while ago. Like, whether I didn't plan on it, but having to do the JPEGs for this podcast has made me learn graphic design. I'm like, okay, I kind of can do some shit now. At least make basic flyers and shit like that, which I couldn't do before. But the YouTube version has helped me.
Yeah, that was a good move.
Yeah, that might be one of my best joints.
Yeah.
Real simple.
It was fly.
Yeah.
Super fly. The dark background. Yeah. Super fly.
Real clean joint. That's my style. So this week, man, this week's episode is inspired by a topic suggestion of one of our friends and listeners of the show, Zilla Rocca. And he quoted this tweet, and his tweet said, "It's wild how artists can lose opportunities left and right due to their managers and never even know it's happening." This tweet was made by Vermont Hip Hop, and Zilla quoted it and tagged us on it and said, "Good show topic." And I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, we haven't talked about the manager thing.
Yeah.
We've interviewed managers.
Right. We haven't talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, this week we're going to talk about how managers help and hurt artists. It's an important conversation to have because sometimes, people just think that the manager is the answer.
Oh, yeah. I just need a manager.
That's it.
Get somebody to manage me. I'll be on. Because I got the heat.
That's it.
I got the flames.
The end. Game over. It's a wrap. I get to manage it. I'm on.
Right.
And sometimes, it comes a little too early and bad things can happen.
Yes.
On both sides, but there's good as well. So we're going to talk about that today, how managers can help and hurt artists. And we'll be right back.
Word.
We got you stuck off the realness, the most infamous, you heard of us. Official podcast murderers, the show comes equipped with viewpoints to share. Grown man ideas for all those who care and wanna grow, so go ahead and download. Every single week with a brand new episode. You're not alone in this world, cousin, so we share information and honest discussion and keep repping the culture like we supposed to. They spread gossip, but they never come close to. I can hear it inside their tone. They talk about the industry but never left their home. You get laced up with bullet points and such, plus empowering topics that they never would touch. You can put your whole network against the team, but Super Duty Tough Work's the MVP. Most valuable podcast on MP3. Priceless info, but all of it's free. So take these words home and think them through. Super Duty Tough Work is coming at you. You are now listening to Super Duty Tough Work with your host, Blueprint. Raw and uncut. Adult conversations. No shucking, no jiving, and no
Boom.
Back in the place.
Yes. Super duty tough work. Blueprint, Logic. This week we're talking about managers. How managers help and hurt artists. If you're an artist and think you need a manager, you might want to listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an artist and you already got a manager, you might want to listen to this.
Yes.
Because some of the stuff might be things you've never even thought of.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about it today. And this might not be that long of an episode, but it's going to be clear and concise. You know what I'm saying? Mad bullet points. So we're going to start with the first bullet point and such, which is we're going to talk about how they help artists before we get into the negative. How they help artists. Number one, they allow the artist to focus on art.
That is an amazing thing too. I've had managers in the past.
You did.
Being able to do that, that's like second to none. That's one of those things where, having this crunch time isn't something I would have had to deal with.
Yeah, some years ago.
Some years ago, it just been like, album done.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Right, you just disappeared.
Right.
Y'all got it from here.
Right.
Handle that, fellas.
Right.
Yeah, things a little different now.
Very much so.
Your man's is on his own.
Right.
You are your manager.
Yes.
Jamar Glass is managing Illogic.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yes.
But yeah, like I've always looked at that myself too. Like I've never had a manager, but I've had a booking agent. And my relationship with my booking agent is like that in terms of booking. And that, if you're booking your own tour, I've booked tours for you before and I've booked tours for myself. And I've been on other tours that people have booked. But I realized that when it comes to booking, if I'm booking, I can't do nothing else.
Right.
It's very hard to be locked in on reaching out to people, keeping up with the correspondence, negotiating money, settling, getting all this stuff together that you got to do on the business side and still wake up every day cheerful, happy to go dig through records, make beats and be inspired.
Yeah.
I always found it really difficult for me to do, especially booking, because sometimes people will piss you off. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, because when you're booking yourself,
it's personal
and you're dealing with money.
Bad combo.
Yeah, not something you really want to mess with. Nah, son, because what if they offend you?
Bro, this has happened to me.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, I got 150 for you, Brent. What?
Yeah. You can be like, man, fuck this guy. Like, you can get offended before you even get there.
Oh, yeah.
I've had shows where I let that shit piss me off 6 months in advance. And I showed up looking at him like, this motherfucker was trying to jerk me.
Yeah.
Man, I slapped this shit. You know what I mean? But I'm like, don't do that.
Right.
Let it go.
Right.
But when you manage and do all your own shit, it's inevitable. But when you got somebody else to do it, you just focus on the art.
Yeah, because you don't have to be the asshole.
No.
They can be, you got an asshole buffer zone.
You got a bad cop just sitting there waiting for some crime, somebody to bust. It's like, yo, man, go play bad cop on him. So now I don't get into those things anymore.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest benefits, is that now I focus on the art.
Yeah.
And when it's time to focus on art, I focus on the art. And then, I'm kind of an extreme guy where, like, if I'm focused on something, I find that I work better when I'm strictly working on that.
Right.
And then when I'm done, then I can focus on the business side, the rollout of the project, the promotion, right? I think most artists are like that. It's very hard to do both evenly at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
But having a manager, though, allows you to just wake up and just be worried about being the dopest artist you can be.
Yeah, and things move a little faster for you too.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to wear multiple hats. So while you're working on a record, they start working on publicists. They start thinking about campaign ideas, all that stuff that you don't have to worry about.
Yes.
And like for me, album was done. Now it's like, okay, now I got to think about all the extra stuff that goes along with it, because I can't do it, like you said, can't do it simultaneously, because you got to focus on the art to make the best piece of art in order to have the best campaign, in order to have the best rollout, all of that stuff.
Yeah. I've noticed too that with me, because I have to kind of break them into different pieces, I can become a bottleneck to my own business.
Oh, yeah.
Because someone will email me about something, and because I'm not in show mode, hey, Print, we got this bag over here from blah, blah, blah in August waiting for you.
Right.
And I'll just look at the email and I'll just go back to doing what I'm doing.
Right. I'll get back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But whereas if I have someone in place, I'll just send it to them.
Yep. Forward.
And then they'll talk to that person, say their contact, let them know what the plan is, and keep that correspondence going. And then I'm not not bottlenecking my own business.
Yeah. And plus, it's their job.
Yeah.
It's their job to be in touch with the correspondence, to do what that thing is. It's their job.
Yeah. And so they allow the artists to focus. That's the most important thing. If you're thinking about now some of y'all don't even go that hard on the music.
Right.
So y'all got to be careful trying to find somebody to take your mind off the business, just so you can just smoke blunts and play video games and not be productive.
Yeah, because you at least got to learn the business.
Yeah.
That's the only way that we're able to do what we do by ourselves is because on top of me having a manager, and you having booking agent and things like that, if you needed to book for yourself,
I could
can.
do it. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? If you need to run your own campaign, you can do that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So make sure that you're in a good place so that you can focus on art like legit.
Right.
Don't just use a manager as an excuse to be lazy.
Right.
And, so that's number one. Okay. Number two, how managers help artists is they make decisions based on business and not art or emotion.
Yes.
Now, for those of you at home who don't know, yes, I do. I'm a full-time artist, but I'm only a full-time artist because I handle my business.
Right.
I'm not a full-time artist just because I'm dope. There's at least 75% of what I do every day is not art related.
Oh, yeah.
It's business.
Easily.
Administrative shit. I don't love it. I don't hate it. But because it pays me, I can tolerate it.
Right.
I can try to be great at it because I know that what I put into it, I get out of it. But what happens, and what we mentioned in the last one, is that sometimes as an artist, you only want to do the shit that got to do with the art. When it's time to work on that album, 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Time to pass up the flyers, and I don't feel like it.
Yo, I got something to do.
It's cold out there.
I'm busy.
I ain't going out there. Anybody want to go with me to this show? Man, how much the flyers cost? Man, I'm going to just post it on Facebook again.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that shit. You start thinking, oh man, I'm an artist. I'm above selling my art to the people. We get on that trip. The I'm too artsy, and I don't want to compromise my art by promoting or making commerce, making it seem like I'm out for the money. Fuck that. If you don't have no business, you don't have no career in art.
Right. True.
You know what I'm saying? It's the music business. It's not the music.
The music.
You can do music your whole life. No business.
No business. And if that's what you want to
do it.
Then that's what you want to do. But don't be out here mad because you ain't making no dough.
Come on now.
When you ain't handling the business portion.
Yes.
Or at least know what's going on.
Come on, man.
You gotta at least know what's going on. If you do have a manager, at least know what the hell is going on so you don't get jerked. So, if your manager leaves, you can take care of the shit yourself.
Yeah.
You know where all the bodies are buried. You know what I'm saying?
That's a great metaphor. That's a great metaphor. I like that. Yeah. Go dig up some bones when you need to eat. You know what I mean?
Right. Straight up.
Go to the backyard. Oh, there's one over there. Let me go dig that up. I'm hungry.
Right.
Nah, that's real. And for those of you, it's very important here to really be honest with yourself. Every artist is not cut out to do the business.
Right.
Some people can get it and are naturally inclined to get it and understand its importance. Some people try and they're not very good at it.
I wasn't at first.
Yeah, I remember.
I was bad.
Yeah,
I was horrible.
I know. Yeah, I was there.
It was like I'll just rap, guys.
Yeah, you was the epitome of show up rapping and hit me up when the record's done.
Right.
That was you.
Right. I tried in the beginning.
Yeah, you wasn't good.
Wasn't good. I was like, I just rap, guys. You guys can handle that part.
Right.
I just rap.
So we had other people do stuff.
Yes.
Like promo and flyers. You didn't have to show up.
Right.
You knew that we was out there putting the work in. Passing out the flyers to get people shows.
I did come in flyer.
You came a couple times.
Yeah, I came.
But you didn't go as much as us.
Oh no, I didn't.
Like we was out there.
Out there.
It was optional.
Right.
It wasn't like you never felt like if you didn't go out there, no one's gonna know.
Right. Exactly.
You know, because we were handling that. It's good to be honest with yourself sometimes, man. And sometimes just look at your past thing. Have you really ever given 100% to the business side of anything that you do? If you answer it, or have you ever like had that rewarding feeling after doing something on the business side? Like, oh, I didn't know I could do that, but I did that and I feel great.
Right.
If you don't get that feeling of reward or excitement after you finish something, or if you can't even push the ball far enough to get it done, maybe you need a manager to help you, because you are strictly focused on the art and the emotion of it, and that's cool when you're creating it, but that's bad when it's time to do business.
Right.
So that's number 2. All right. Number 3 way that managers help artists is they help artists plan out their careers.
Yes.
We're artists. We tend to think one song at a time, one beat at a time, one album at a time,
Yes.
1 year at a time.
Yes.
But having someone who is not so connected to the music, it's better able for them to see what you need to be doing long term to build your career.
Right.
And that's very hard for us to do on our own, you know, because we just say, oh, yeah, this song is fire. That song is fire. This album's dope. But we don't think about the brand that we have established.
Right.
And sometimes when we don't think about the long term thing, that can really hurt us. And it can offend some of your fans. You change directions. You might not think about stuff. You're being impulsive as an artist. And so you need somebody around to keep you honest.
Yeah.
The manager's good for that.
Yeah, like just, I mean, it's been probably like the last couple years. I've really I got like probably the next 3 or 4 years of releases like kind of planned out.
Yeah.
At least written out to where like, okay, I'm working on this. I want to release this around here. You know, like, but at first, I'm about to finish this record. I'm going to go on tour.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. I ain't even thinking about the next album. I ain't thinking about nothing. I just I'm going to write some more raps.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go in the studio, record some more heat. You know what I'm saying?
Rinse, repeat.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it.
That was it. Now I'm thinking like, okay, you know, I got to think about my Instagram page. I got to think about campaigns. I got to think about content. I got to think about this. I got to think about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't thinking about none of that shit.
Yeah, it's true. And I think artists also, unless you've really read about or study branding, it's very hard for some artists to truly understand branding. And selling music or any product, you got to understand branding. Those with the best brands tend to be the most successful.
Right.
And it's not always, you don't even necessarily have to understand it. You just need to know that if you don't understand it, you need somebody on your team who does.
Right.
And that's how you have a long-term career.
True.
You know, treat your art as a brand that you want to maintain. You know, there's a reason McDonald's sells certain things and they don't sell certain things.
Right.
They're not selling spaghetti. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's not their thing. They don't sell Italian food.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't sell fried rice.
Right.
You know, because they have a long-term vision for the brand and they stick to it. And that creates more customer loyalty. Same thing applies to music.
Yeah.
So that's number 3. Okay. Number 4 way managers help artists is they network when an artist doesn't want to.
What artist wants to?
It's very rare.
Like, it's very rare. Most of us are fucking introverts.
Yeah.
We don't like talking to people.
Yeah.
We very to ourselves. You know, so it's good to have a mouthpiece that gets some things done for you.
Yeah.
Not nobody wants. It took me a long time to even talk on the road.
I know.
To fans.
I know. You used to be off in the cut.
Off in the cut with a drink in my hand, outside smoking a cigarette.
Or weed.
Yeah. You know, not really worried about that part.
Yeah. I was doing all of that stuff.
Yeah, you were.
I was talking to people. And I think that's, you know, but the beauty's that we knew each other's role.
Right.
I never beat you up over not doing that shit. That was just, to me, it was like, I just came from corporate America. Of course I know how to talk to people.
Right.
I had to know how to do that in that setting. And I just applied that to hip hop, but that was just coincidence. That was nothing by design. I just ended up in that position with that skill set. But you're right. Most artists do not want to politic, network, meet people, schmooze.
Right.
It just feels fake.
Yeah.
When you're
like,
about the art. You're like,
shaking hands and kissing babies.
fuck, you know what I mean? Like now with our fans, of course we want to talk to them, especially if they want to, hey man, your music changed my life. It was great.
But even in those situations, a lot of times for me, it was hard in the beginning because I was real person. My music was so personal to me, so it was hard to talk to the fans even sometimes. But I mean, I got better at it as I started touring and meeting fans and stuff. But initially, it wasn't my thing.
Yeah, and it was kind of new to it. Like I remember seeing Slug sign CDs when we went to the Chicago show for that first time. We played with Idea and Adam's Family. That shit blew my mind. I was like, is this real?
Yeah, is this what we got to look forward to?
Yeah, like guys, he's sitting here. There's a line of people just want to. He's not even rapping tonight.
Right.
He's signing autographs and taking. I was like, this is incredible. I wasn't prepared for that.
Right.
I saw it. I was like, oh, let me adapt. I hope that somebody asks me to sign some shit one day.
Right.
I will be more than glad to do that.
Right.
Because all this other shit is cool. But that, when you actually start doing it, it makes everything worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not one who believes in like artists going to quote unquote networking meetings.
Yeah,
And all. I think you just need to be cool. You be a cool person and easy to talk to.
You be cool and available when necessary.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, be at the merch table after your set. You know,
Yeah.
after your set. You know, like, you don't got to go to this networking conference
Right.
for artists and stuff like that. But at your shows, at other hip hop shows.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go out and if somebody want to take a picture with you, be pissed
Yeah.
because you wanted some alone time. Then you shouldn't have went out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if you known person. People going to want to take pictures, get autographs, things like that.
Facts.
So, you know, be ready for that.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, managers, they should be able to help you with that.
Exactly.
And most managers, even the worst managers, most of them became managers because they knew that the band or artist needed somebody to speak for them.
Yep.
And the artist was doing a bad job at talking to people, talking to venues,
Yep.
talking to the press,
Yep.
talking to retail and saying, look, you know what, let me just talk to these people for y'all
Yep.
so y'all can do that. And then it turns into, okay, well, now I'm representing you to these people. Now I'm managing certain things and it just flows into that. But I think that is actually probably the starting point for most managers.
Yeah, because they're a mouthpiece. They know how to talk.
Right. Would you hire a manager who didn't know how to talk?
Of course not. They gotta have a mouthpiece.
Yeah. It was like, I'm out of here. Like, if you can't talk to people, I can do that.
Right.
I can be awkward in public by myself.
Exactly. I can do that on my own.
Yeah.
Be bad all by myself.
I don't need you. Yeah. So yeah, that's number 4. Okay, number 5, and this is the last way that managers help artists is they establish minimums.
Yes.
And by minimums, we're talking about this, like when you don't have someone in place, the amount that you get paid or what you get offered wildly varies.
It does.
Someone one night you could be getting $1,000. Next night somebody could be offering you a case of beer.
Yeah.
And you probably will take all of them depending on what you need in your life at that time.
Right.
Oh, you got a sack of weed? Cool, I'll rap for 45 minutes.
Right.
But when you have a manager,
Yeah.
they establish a minimum.
Yeah, they're like, we're not doing no cases of beer.
Right.
Because for one, if you got a manager that's somewhat established,
Yeah.
they want their 10%.
That's
15%.
Exactly.
And they can't get 15% of a case of beer.
Right. That ain't gonna work. It's
They
one
pop
beer.
it. Yeah.
Not worth it.
Right.
Yeah. So like they help you set the baseline. They may not be able to guarantee you the highest amount. They can never say, okay, yeah, I'm going to guarantee you every time you get paid $2,000. They can't guarantee you that.
Right.
But what they can do is establish the baseline,
Right.
the minimum, and say, look, man, my job is to protect you from the people trying to exploit you.
Right.
So we have to start at this level or else it's not going to be worth it to you. Then you're going to, because you can do it for less than that. You get pissed off. Then you look around the room. Then your performance is shitty. Then your attitude towards the fans is shitty.
Yep.
And then you go home and you mad and you don't want to make no more art, all because you took this show for a case of beer.
Yeah. And you set a precedent.
Yes.
Because next time they come back, he'll do it for a case of beer.
Yeah. The homie told me.
Yeah. The homie told me that
The Heineken, he just
Yeah.
broke you off with the 6-pack of Heineken and you just did a headlining set.
Right.
I mean, why am I getting charged more?
Yeah.
And you can't say shit.
Yeah.
Because you accepted that.
Yeah.
And a manager will help you like ward off those instances and they'll act as a buffer. And you can turn certain things down and certain things. Sometimes it's not even about, sometimes you'll take those free shows or you play for a good cause. You play for your homies for nothing.
Right.
But your manager is there to establish the minimum.
Yeah, those are special situations.
Yeah. So that's it for the helping part. We'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Where?
What up, everybody? Blueprint here to let you guys know that all 3 of my books are finally back in stock. That means right here, What a Night. This book is back in stock. It's $10. This is a book about the worst shows in my career. That's 10. Word is Blog Volume 1 is back in stock. That's $10. And also, The Making of Adventures in Counterculture. This book is about my Adventures in Counterculture album. If you have the album, you love the album, you should have a book too. That's $10. All 3 of these books are back in stock for $10 each, or you can get all 3 of them for just $25 right now on waitlist.net. That's all I got today. Thanks for your support. Peace.
Yeah.
Back in the place.
Super duty tough work. The most infamous podcast this side of the Olentangy River.
Word.
Shout out to our Ohio people. Dayton, Cincinnati, Cleveland. What's good?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We here.
Yeah.
All of our people in the OHIO.
Word.
And beyond. And so we talking today about how managers help and hurt artists. And this comes from a tweet that we talked about earlier that said, it's wild how artists can lose opportunities left and right due to their managers and never even know it's happening. And that tweet inspired this episode. So now we want to talk about that specifically because we talked about the good things they can do. Now we're going to talk about how they hurt artists and touch on that thing a little bit. And so the number one way they hurt artists is they overinflate prices. Managers cause bubbles.
Oh, they do.
You know,
They do.
like, as you pointed out in the previous segment, they're thinking about their percentage.
Yes.
All the time.
Right.
They're not looking at it like, oh, $100. Yeah, you can pay your phone bill with that. They're looking at it like, oh, that's only $15 for me.
Yep.
I can't even get a dinner with that. Fuck this $100.
Right.
They'll shit on your motherfucking $85 because they only get 15 of it.
Yeah.
And you have this works to an even higher extreme. When I used to get booked, I'm not even gonna say who it was, but I used to get booked by a booking agent where I would send people to them and they would basically inflate my prices so much that I wouldn't get the shows.
Wow.
Like they would basically tell people, this was in like 2003,
So
2002,
early.
Right before 88 came out and all that stuff. They were like, if you didn't, if an offer didn't come in that was multiple thousands.
Multiple thousands?
Yeah.
At that time, before 88?
Yeah. They
nah, bruh. I love you, Prick, but nah, you know.
I know I wasn't worth that.
You know.
I know that.
Right.
You know that. They know that.
Right.
But that didn't stop those motherfuckers from trying to get it out of people.
Wow.
And it created a situation where I was sitting there and I had a booking agent, but I wasn't getting booked. Meanwhile, I'm getting emails and people, hey, we want to book you. Hey, we want to book you. Oh, cool. Here's my booking agent's info. And I'd send it and then it would just die. Crickets.
Yeah.
Nothing would come of it. And, what I found out was the reason I wasn't getting booked was because they had overinflated my prices.
That's whack.
They had created a standard for pricing me without discussion with me. That was way beyond what I was expecting or what the market was willing to pay for me. Word. So I sat there like, hey, y'all, I made it. I got a booking agent. I'm on a dope record label, but I'm broke as hell because I'm not getting booked.
Yeah.
And
how'd you find out?
Somebody told me.
Yeah, one of the
people,
promoters yo, Prick.
I doubled back to check with them. Hey, bruh.
Yeah, what happened?
What happened? I saw you book somebody else on that joint. I told you I was with it. Oh, man, Print, man, let me tell you about your booking agent.
Word.
Then they tell me.
Multiple thousands.
Gone.
Wow.
Like, look, would you... I needed bread. I was trying to work. It would been different if they said, hey, man, look... What do you think is the minimum?
Right.
What kind of offers have you been seeing?
Right.
So we can kind of figure out a baseline for your pricing.
Right.
They didn't have none of those discussions.
Yeah, like what's your biggest markets that you've been to? Like stuff like that. That determines how much you charge for certain markets.
Yeah. This is how they determined it. They determined how much
can we get?
Yeah. Okay, it takes me an hour to sign this thing. Send it back to them. How much is my time worth?
Right.
That's how they were looking at it. Not that's Blueprint's time.
Right.
The booking agent was like, how much is my time worth? So I need to be making at least $100-$200 every time I book him.
Yeah.
Or it's not worth it to me as a booking agent.
Right. So if they're getting 10%, that's $2,000 a show.
Thank you.
Yeah, not so much, bruh. Not that time.
Meanwhile, I'm fucking off 1,800 gone. You know what I'm saying? 1,000 gone, 2,000 gone. Not getting offers for these. Instead of just being like, oh man, you got us for $750, man. Let's talk about it. Yeah. You want to do it? Yeah, let's get the $750, bruh. Nah, I didn't even know those were coming in.
Wow.
Because they didn't pass the threshold that my manager decided on their own without my approval.
Yeah, like 5 to 8 in that time.
Yeah.
Eating pretty well,
bruh.
With as much as you was touring, eating pretty well.
I was not, and that is why during the time I had a booking agent, I only had maybe like one real headlining tour. I found it really hard to reconcile what they were trying to get with what I could get. And then that's ultimately why we fell out. That relationship ended, was because I got tired of feeling like they weren't doing what was in my best interest. They were acting in their best interest,
right,
or in the best interest of the venue,
right,
cutting them a deal and shitting on me. And I was just like, man, okay, I'm out. And then I started booking myself, and things got better because I wasn't leaving money on the table like that.
Right.
But yeah, overinflated prices.
Crazy.
It's a real thing.
Crazy.
Okay, number 2 way that managers hurt artists is they keep artists in the dark about opportunities.
Yes.
As we just talked about, the worst part about these opportunities is that you as an artist don't even know.
No idea.
You're sitting at home, broke, looking at your watch like, damn. You know, we just talked about the jealousy.
Yeah.
You're looking at your timeline like, damn, who's is active out here?
Right. I got an agent.
What about me?
What about me?
What's happening?
I want to do shows.
I thought people liked me.
Right.
I could have swore it was just cracking. All of a sudden, because, you know, the thing about a manager and an artist is that in most instances, the manager is the first person notified about that business.
Right.
So when you, as an artist, start that relationship, your email and contacts them if you're a manager. That kind of creates a situation where you may never even see the emails that come in
right
for you. And so they could be determining on their own, that's not worth our artist time. That's beneath them.
Yeah.
Illogic would hate that.
Yeah.
Illogic don't want that.
Yeah.
Illogic makes more than, Illogic deserves more because he's a legend. Meanwhile, Illogic would take $500 real quick to drive across town.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sleep in his own bed that night.
Right. 30 minutes.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Quick in and out.
Yeah.
Let me get this money.
Right.
But the thing is, they don't even tell you. They act as this buffer, and you don't even know the business you're missing oftentimes because you have a manager.
Yeah, so true. Yeah, so true. I haven't had any experiences like that I know of.
Well, you wouldn't know.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
irony.
That's what I'm saying. That I know of. You know, most of the time with the manager that I had, you know, when opportunities would come in, it's like, you want to do this or not?
Yeah.
You know, and then they would give their opinion. I don't think you should, or I think you should. Here's my reasons why.
Yeah.
But if you want to, I'll take care of it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I had that kind of relationship. But I mean, I don't know if I missed opportunities or not. You know what I'm saying? Never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
And if you find out, you're actually lucky.
Yeah.
Because most artists never know.
Right.
And, you know, that one speaks to that tweet that, you know, this episode is based on, because the sad part is some artists never know. And it's very important that if you do choose to have a manager, you talk to your manager specifically about the things that you want, about what you think is beneath you,
right?
What kind of opportunities you'd like them to bring to you, and make it very clear, like, hey, I would like to be included on everything that comes in.
Yeah, so I can have the option,
yes,
to say yes or no.
Yeah, you don't shut down anything without me, and then we make these decisions together.
Yeah,
you don't just go out there on your own, just making financial calls that could have me not even doing this shit, you know? And so you got to communicate that, because if you don't, you're going to be in the dark.
Yeah, because for me, and at the time, you know, my manager came in after I had already begun my career. So it's like, if opportunities come in, I may know the people.
Yes.
You know, that you may not even know who you're dealing with, and I may know them and have a relationship with them to where, you know, maybe I will do it for a little less, depending on, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, different situations like that. So it's definitely good that you know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. So now we're going to talk about number 3 way that that managers hurt artists. Still in the spotlight.
All in the videos.
You know what I'm saying? You would come on over to Death Row. What?
Dancing.
You know, tired of these other managers. You know what I'm saying? When you get tired of them, all up in your YouTube, all up in your Instagram story.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? You get tired of them, come on over to Death Row. Dance, you know what I'm saying? Twerking, you know what I'm saying? You tired of them? Fuck with us, son.
Yeah.
You know, this is a real thing.
It is very real. Very, very real.
You know, for a lot of managers, I mean, this is the elephant in the room Many managers see working with some artists as simply a stepping stone to a bigger opportunity. And the only way they're going to get those opportunities is to put themselves in the forefront at every chance they get.
Yep.
So you may think, damn, this fool's always in the front. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Because they're looking past you. They're thinking, yeah, working with you was cool, but if you don't blow, somebody else is going to see this work I'm doing or how you're being successful, associate me with that, and I'm going to get a good look over there.
Yeah.
And I'm not completely mad at them for that. That's part of the game, right? But you as an artist need to be aware that if your manager is always in the spotlight, something ain't right.
Yeah.
I think the best managers operate in the background.
Yes, sir.
You know, you don't even know that person got a manager.
Right.
Shit just happening.
Yeah, that's the best shit.
You're like, yo, how did that happen?
Right.
When did that pop off?
When did that go down?
Yeah, like people didn't know how to book an agent until they saw 60 dates. Print.
What's been up?
Who booked that?
Yes.
Is somebody booking you now? Yes, my man's is.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be. He wasn't all up in my videos.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All up in my Instagram stories. He don't even like taking pictures. Every picture we've had of him being on the spot is because I force him to do it. And like telling you know you coming through, you know you're going to be on the podcast. All right. You know, the last day of the tour, we took a picture with him in Buffalo. He was like, man, you know I don't want to be in no movie. I said, hey, man, I'm blowing your cover. I know I'm going to put your name out there in your picture because you deserve some credit for this shit. You're doing an amazing job. But most managers are not like that. You know, there's a lot of them who really, they might have been former rappers.
Right.
They might have been former DJs, producers.
Yeah.
And for them, the job is just like, hey, man, I still miss
Or
that.
Aspiring DJs or rappers.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
Right.
And it's working out for you.
Right. So they like, maybe I could get on a joint.
Get up in the video.
Let me drop an 8-bar.
Dancing. Yeah. Let me just spit the chorus real quick. Can I ad-lib on that shit, please?
Yeah,
I got some. I can write a hook too.
Yeah.
I used to be dope, you know. So you got to watch out for that, man. Them fools will steal the spotlight, and then they'll dip on you and leave you stinking.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like you can see it's situations where, like, you know, you'll come backstage and the artist manager will be doing all kind of crazy shit that the artist ain't even doing. You come backstage, it's all lit up. Who's smoking blunts and doing coke back here? Oh, the manager is, not the artist. The manager got all his friends back there doing the most. Be careful, man.
Yeah.
You know, they see these things as opportunity too, and maybe they just trying to get theirs while they can.
Right.
You know, so that's number 4. Oh, that's number 3. Okay. Number 4. This is a deep one. The way that managers hurt artists is they enable destructive behaviors.
Yeah, man.
This one.
Yeah. I never really dealt with this one. I've always had people in my corner that help me to not do as much dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, bro, you ain't going to that party. We ain't going to that after party. What are you talking about? Get in the car.
Right. Yeah. That's a fact. I can confirm this.
Yes.
Yeah. But you know, you look at the way things work, man. I mean, look, show me an artist who's addicted to drugs or overdoses on drugs, and I'll show you a manager who knew about it.
Right.
Who probably saw it coming.
Probably bought it for him. Probably do drugs with him.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
These things don't happen in a vacuum. You don't see these artists who have all this access to every kind of temptation there is, from women to drugs to alcohol to just acting crazy to all that shit. You don't see these artists get into that shit without somebody around them allowing them and keeping their mouth shut. Right. So when you see an artist flipping out and they still got all these entourage, how did that happen? It's because these people are enabling it.
Yeah.
And why are they enabling it? Because they don't want to cut themselves off from the gravy train.
Yep.
Instead of saying, yo, man, I know that you're not going to like me telling you this, and I know that this jeopardizes my job with you, but you're on a destructive path with all these things you're doing. And if I let you continue, I'm not going to have a job anyway.
Right.
You're going to be dead.
Right.
So I might as well protect you now and tell you what to do. Instead of doing that, they're just like, hey, man,
yeah,
so him, bruh.
Yeah.
You just fall back, let them do whatever they want to do. And then when it hits the fan, no one laughs some shit. Oh, man, I ain't know it was that bad.
Right.
I ain't know he was doing all that, though. Yeah, you did. You was buying him the shit. You was going to do this shit. When he needed some shit in that city, he ain't know his way around. You the one went and got it.
Yeah.
You the one enabled this shit.
Yeah.
Stop acting like you didn't know, you know? And it's sad, but it's true that a manager oftentimes is just an enabler.
Yeah, I was watching Kevin Hart got this like kind of documentary joint on Netflix.
Yeah.
And when he got caught cheating on his wife, he was in Vegas and he was around a bunch of his industry people, but not his immediate circle, his friends that, you know, like that he gets money with. That's part of his company. And he said there was nobody around him to smack him in the back of the head and say, man, what the hell you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was mad cats just feeding him drinks, giving him whatever he want, bringing girls over to the table, knowing he married. You know what I'm saying? Like, stuff like that. Like, his boys, his real boys would have never did that shit.
Yeah.
He wasn't around any of them. And that's when he got caught up in some shit. Because he was just around his regular, you know, just business team as opposed to his friends.
Yeah.
That's part of his business.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember dating a girl, and one of the reasons I wanted to break up with her was that. It was when I was drinking at my peak. I was just like, yo. I woke up one day after doing some real dumb shit. And I remember being there just thinking, like, why did she tell me?
Yeah, you could have stopped me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She should have stepped and said, yo, babe, let's not do that. Let's go. She never said nothing. The entire relationship just enabled me. And I was just like sitting there in bed when I'm like, yo, she's going to allow me to be the worst motherfucker I could be. I'm embarrassed right now about my conduct. She wouldn't, because she was just in love with a motherfucker. She was going to let me do whatever the fuck I wanted.
That's why.
Even as destructive as a path as I was on. And I think that just kind of woke me up like, yo, a lot of artists are surrounded by people who are yes men and people who are enablers.
Yeah.
And if someone falls or artist takes a tumble, they always look at just like the artist, like, yeah, you fucked up. But look at the people around them who either were silent or actually enabled them and helped them.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
It's super fucked up.
You know, because when you fall, it's on you, bruh. Ain't nobody looking at your manager.
Yeah.
Even though they gave you all that shit.
Yeah. Because you the name. Because you the name. They don't care about the manager. The manager gonna go manage somebody else.
Yep.
After your career crashes and burns.
Yep. It's true. It's true. So that's number 4. Okay. Last joint. Way that managers hurt artists. We can't leave without saying this one.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Experience is a mofo.
Yeah, they steal or embezzle. There's so many stories that come out all the time about people entrusting their business to people who take advantage of them.
Yeah.
You hear about NBA athletes all the time.
Yeah.
You hear about NFL athletes
Yeah.
all the time. Entertainers, same thing. People who find lawyers, managers, accountants, and they entrust them with their business. And this story is as cliche as any in the industry. These people turn around and steal from them.
No matter what level you at.
It's so cliche that we got stole from.
Yeah, we lived it.
Yeah, we've been through that ourselves. And what I notice is that there comes a point when you trust somebody and you trust them enough to not watch them. And some people, depending on their level of insecurity, you know, resentment or whatever, or just flat out disrespect, will steal from you and feel nothing about it, bro. And that shit, it only happens because we put them in those positions. I'm not saying don't trust nobody,
Right.
but I am saying have some checks and balances in place and make sure that you have certain limits on what they can do, because I mean, it's athletes who they can't even get the money back that they
Right. Millions. Because you just trusted somebody and just let them run with it. You wasn't checking your stuff as long as you had what you thought you should have.
They enabled you on that end.
Right.
Let me get him all the weed, all the coke, all the girls, all the cars, so that he don't even think about this money. Meanwhile, I'm gonna just be doing this.
Yeah.
Just taking it, putting it in my pocket. It's sad.
It's super sad.
But you have to really be careful about this and know who you're fucking with. And oftentimes, like, the people who look like they wouldn't do it, be the motherfuckers the most likely to do it.
Hell yeah.
You know, the people you're like, man, this motherfucker. Nah, that ain't who you need to worry about. It's the person who you think would never do it.
Homie.
Yeah. I mean, I've never seen any of these NBA accountants who looked at shiesty.
Nah, they all just look like
regular nerds.
Just regular nerds. Suit
tie nerds.
Yeah.
Stealing though. Just being just devils. Like,
stealing big money
evil
too.
people.
Big money.
Never apologizing. Never making that right.
Nah.
Like, yo, you got to be careful when you put people in these positions, man.
Definitely.
Because they can hurt you.
They definitely can.
And a manager, no different.
Right.
So that's it.
That's it.
That's it. I hope y'all got something out of this. And, I'm going to read them back. The 5 ways that managers help artists are: they allow artists to focus on art. They make decisions based on business and not art or emotion. Number 3, they help artists plan out their career. Number 4, they network when the artist doesn't want to. And number 5, they establish minimums. The 5 ways that managers hurt artists are: they overinflate prices. 2, they keep artists in the dark about opportunities. 3, they steal the spotlight, money, perks. Number 4, they enable destructive behaviors. And finally, they steal or embezzle your bread. And that's it for this week, man.
Yeah.
Hope y'all enjoyed this, and we'll see y'all next week.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to Super Duty Tough Work. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Follow the podcast on SoundCloud. Peace.
Shoot, I got styles already that's more complex that nobody know about. I mean, super duty tough work.